The heavy mahogany doors of the private dining room click shut. The air is stale with nervous anticipation. 5 men, each worth hundreds of millions, stare at you across the polished table. They need your signature to survive the fiscal quarter. You do not speak. You let the silence suffocate them. You watch the sweat bead on the temple of the CEO across from you. A decade ago, this room would have terrified you. Today, you do not feel anxiety. You do not even feel triumph. You are simply calculating the exact microsecond his desperation peaks, allowing you to extract another 4% of equity before you lift your pen. You do not react to the room. The room reacts to you. You own the frame. But to understand how you arrived here, you must remember where you started. You must remember the fluorescent lights. Rank 1. The outsider. The direct deposit hits at 12:01 a.m. on Friday. You check it before you check anything else. 847.32s. You already know where every dollar is going before it arrives. Rent takes $550. The rest is math you've done 100 times, and it never gets easier. You work the closing shift at a commercial office building in downtown Atlanta. You push a cart through marble hallways after midnight, emptying the trash cans of people whose names you read on the building directory. Some of them have suites, some of them have floors. You don't resent them. Not exactly. You study them. The cars in the garage, the shoes left outside conference rooms, the food containers in the bins, per-person catering costs that exceed your hourly rate. You spend $180 on a pair of sneakers you can't afford. Not because you're foolish, because visibility feels like survival. You don't have assets. You have appearances. Money to you is a countdown, a number that only moves in one direction. You earn it, it leaves, you earn it again. The game feels like a treadmill set just fast enough that stopping means falling. You are not in the game yet. You are watching it through glass. Rank 2. The earner. You make $68,000 a year now. The title is Facilities Operations Coordinator, which sounds like a promotion and functions like a leash. You have a 401k that your employer matches up to 3%. You contribute exactly 3%. Taxes hit differently at this level. For the first time, April feels adversarial. You've read 2 books about money. You've opened a Robinhood account and bought $400 of Tesla because someone at work told you to. You check the price 11 times on Wednesday. You sell it on Thursday for a $34 loss. You get a second job on weekends, not because you're desperate, because you've done the math and the math keeps coming up short. The gap between what you earn and what you want isn't bridgeable on one income. So you build a second lane. Your credit score is 701. You treat it like a report card. You pay your credit card balance in full every month, not because you understand credit utilization, but because your mother told you to and you finally started listening. Money at this level is a project. You are in active daily combat with it. You budget, you track, you restrict. Every unnecessary purchase comes with a small internal negotiation that you don't have the vocabulary to name, but feel completely. You are earning. You are not yet building. Rank 3. The builder. You are 31. Your total compensation is $114,000. You have a director title at a mid-sized logistics firm. You have $47,000 in a brokerage account and $22,000 in a high-yield savings account, earning 4.6% APY. You found out what a Roth conversion ladder is at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday and couldn't sleep afterward. The shift happening now is subtle but structural. You've stopped thinking about money as something you spend. You think about it as something you position. The $22,000 in savings isn't for emergencies, it's for opportunities. There's a difference, and recognizing it changes your posture. You drove a 2018 Honda Accord until last year. You bought a used 2022 BMW 3 Series, not because you needed it, but because you had a realization. The people making decisions about your career were making those decisions partly based on signals. You gave them a signal. You've started reading the 13F filings of hedge funds. You don't fully understand them yet, but you are beginning to understand that the financial information available to you publicly is the information people with power are done using. You own a small duplex in a secondary market. One unit is rented. The cash flow is $340 per month after expenses. This is the first asset that works when you sleep. That feeling does not go away. It compounds. But so does the distance between you and the people you used to call friends. Rank 4. The operator. You are 39. You run a division. Total compensation clears $500,000 in a good year. You haven't carried a wallet in 3 years. The black card is in your phone case. The card has no limit. This is not because you spend recklessly. It is because the bank that issued it doesn't extend that product to people who spend recklessly. You've stopped mentioning your income in conversation, not from shame, from strategy. You've watched what happens when people know your number. The math changes in their heads, the dynamic shifts. Silence is more efficient. Your estate attorney set up a revocable living trust 18 months ago. Your life insurance is held inside an irrevocable life insurance trust, an ILIT, so the $3.2 million death benefit passes outside your taxable estate. You signed the paperwork in a glass-walled office in a building you didn't look up at when you walked in. You have a financial advisor. You have a separate CPA. They do not coordinate with each other without going through you first. Consolidating expertise is a vulnerability. You prefer redundancy. You've been offered a board seat at a regional bank. You accepted not because of the $40,000 annual retainer, but because of what board membership means. You are now in the room where certain conversations happen. The money is a formality. The access is the asset. You no longer check your investment portfolio daily. You check it quarterly. You are not excited by the number. You are calibrating. Rank 5, the principal. You exit the company. Your equity package, negotiated 2 years before the sale, lands $7.8 million post-tax into a taxable brokerage account. You also receive a $2.1 million earnout tied to 18 months of continued performance that you intend to collect and resent equally. You take 6 weeks off. You don't enjoy it. You are not built for stillness. You are built for leverage, and there is nothing to leverage at a beach house in Maine except sunlight and regret. You fund a family limited partnership. The FLP holds your real estate holdings. 4 properties now, combined value $4.1 million. You transfer a 30% interest to your 2 children via annual gift exclusions over 3 years. The discount on the valuation for lack of marketability is 25%. Your estate attorney calls it elegant. You call it arithmetic. You've started writing the check instead of receiving it. You've deployed $400,000 into 4 angel deals in the last 14 months. 2 are underwater. 1 is dead. 1 is up 6x on paper. You don't discuss the losses. You don't discuss the wins. Both are information. Neither is identity. You are no longer playing the game. You are beginning to own the board. Rank 6, the authority. You are 52. Your net worth is $34 million. You do not know this number precisely, and that precision no longer matters to you. Your family office is a single-family office headquartered in a South Dakota trust structure. It employs 3 people full-time, a CFO, a legal officer, and an executive assistant who is signed a 14-page NDA that includes a non-disparagement clause with teeth. You have not made a personal financial decision in 2 years. You have made strategic decisions. The difference is everything. You attend 3 investment conferences annually, not to learn, to observe who is learning and who is pretending. The pretenders are always more active. They shake more hands. They reference recent headlines. They use the word disruption. You say very little. You remember everything. Your foundation made $800,000 in grants last year. The grants went to 3 organizations, 2 of which are building legislative capacity in states where you have business interests. This is not corruption. It is alignment. There is no law against aligned philanthropy. The distinction no longer registers as morally interesting. It registers as accurate. You view the middle class not with disdain, but with the clinical, emotionless detachment of a scientist observing an ant farm. Rank 7, the sovereign. You don't have an office. You have a Gulfstream G650ER that flies 8,000 nautical miles without stopping. You have a primary residence in Greenwich, a secondary in Zurich, and a property in Montana that exists for no reason except that you wanted it to. Your net worth is approximately $180 million, valuing a portfolio of private holdings across 6 entities in 4 jurisdictions is not a quarterly exercise. It is an ongoing negotiation with reality. You have a $10 million retainer with a firm that handles what your family office cannot. They are called fixers in casual language, though they prefer strategic advisory. They have handled a labor dispute, a reputational situation, and 2 regulatory inquiries that were resolved before they became public. You do not ask how. You ask whether it's done. Your children are 32 and 28. You love them. You are not close to them. This gap opened gradually, over years, of availability that you prioritized correctly at the time, and now view with a coldness that occasionally, at 3 a.m., reveals itself as something else. Money at this level is no longer a language you speak. It is the air in the room. You stopped noticing it the way you no longer notice gravity. It is simply the condition under which everything else occurs. Rank 8. The architect. There is no announcement. You are not on a Forbes list. You removed yourself from consideration. Via a structure that your attorneys describe as complete separation of beneficial interest from public beneficial identity. This is a real thing. It is used by people who have decided that visibility is a liability. Your personal assets are undetectable. The entities that hold your capital are layered across Cayman Islands foundations, a Liechtenstein Anstalt, and 2 Delaware LLCs that have not filed public-facing disclosures in 11 years. The beneficial ownership is held by a private trust in South Dakota. The trustee is a professional trustee company. The protector of the trust is an attorney in Zurich. He does not know what you know about the others, and you do not know what he knows about you. This is not paranoia. This is architecture. You have influenced 1 Senate committee, not through contribution, but through the organizations that contributed to the organizations that contributed to the campaigns of the committee members. The chain is 7 links long. At 7 links, causation becomes correlation. Correlation is unprovable. Unprovable is clean. You do not attend Davos. People come to you in rooms that are not logged. Your net worth is somewhere between $600 million and $1.2 billion. You have not had this conversation with anyone in 4 years. You think about it rarely. When you do, the number is not a source of pride or satisfaction. It is simply what the game looks like when you stop playing it and become the table it is played on. The cost is a life that cannot be witnessed. There is no one who knows the full picture. Not your attorneys, not your family office staff, not your children. Certainly not your wife, who left in 2019 with a settlement structured so generously that she signed the NDA on the same day and has not spoken publicly since. You are not a person who has power. You are a system that outputs power. The distinction matters only to those outside it. Sit with what that costs. There is no one to tell. Somewhere in Atlanta, a 26-year-old just cleared his first $50,000. He's been promoted twice in 18 months. He's opened a brokerage account. He bought an index fund. He read 3 books this year: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Psychology of Money, and something about stoicism that felt relevant. He's wearing new shoes. He feels the beginning of something, a momentum, a gravity shift. He thinks he understands what money is. He thinks the game is about accumulation, numbers, strategy. He thinks the ceiling is visible. He thinks the rules are the rules. He doesn't know that the rules he's learning are the ones written for people who will never need to unlearn them. He doesn't know about the layer above the layer above the layer. He will, or he won't. Most don't. But he just pushed through the first door. And on the other side of the last one, a door he can't see and hasn't been told exists, you are already sitting, quiet, waiting for nothing, needing nothing, gone. The lock is on the inside.